Hi, I'm Jeanette Ma, the Good Vibe Coach, and I've got an idea I wanted to run by you today. I was thinking about how when we're learning something new, especially something that seems intimidating, really challenging or complicated, and we kind of have a tendency to avoid failing at anything because that's no fun. But I have this idea that we can become 80% masters of anything if we just have 3 tips. If we have an expert or a master of it, just share 3 things about this thing that we've been afraid to engage, we could be like 80% experts of it. I know this because I've experienced it in many ways, including when I was in master gardener training. Oh my gosh, on the day we were learning how to prune trees, I was so nervous. I did not want to prune anything. But they taught us 3 things. This is what you cut. You cut anything that is dead, dumb, or diseased. A dumb branch is anything that grows straight up or is crossing another branch. So that's what you prune. And then they taught us where you take it. It's like right there at the base, you do a little, it's going to look like a donut. They taught us the angle. And then the third thing they taught us is when to do it. You do it in the spring before the leaves come out. 3 things. That's all it took. I felt like I was a master pruner. I was like begging neighbors and dates. Let me go prune your trees, please. I love it. And when paddleboarding, I'd been watching people paddleboard for years and it looked like fun, but I was like, not for me. But then a friend took me out on the lake and he taught me 3 things. 1, how to get on the board. Turns out that's really easy when someone tells you how to do it right. And then where to stand. This is right where your feet go. And then how to hold the oar. I felt like I was a master paddleboarder. I was going all over that lake. It's like my favorite thing to do now. Just 3 things made all the difference in the world. Okay, it made me wonder, what are the 3 things for conscious creation? Like, what are the 3 things that could make anyone off the street be a master manifester if they just practiced these things? So I got an idea about what those 3 things are. I'm going to share those in this video. I'd like to hear what you think, though. I'd like to hear in the comments what you think the 3 things are that could make anyone a master manifester or an 80% master manifester. Okay, the first one on my list, appreciation. It's learning how to see what's going right instead of focusing on what's irritating us, because it's all there for us. There's plenty going right and there's plenty that bothers us. It's just a matter of which are we going to look at. When we learn how to look at what we appreciate, at what we're enjoying, at what's going right, that's going to take us so far in successful creation that might be in itself enough. I have written blog posts before about how this is the only thing you need to get good at. Appreciation, for real. But also, on top of that, I like the idea of getting really good at listening to our inner guidance. You know, that inner part of us that knows. Some call it our inner being or our higher self, that inner wisdom. There's a part of you that knows how to get what you want, where to be, where to stand, what to say, what to do, what not to do. When we learn how to listen to that part of ourselves, magic happens. And most of us didn't learn that. Most of us were taught to listen to our parents or our teachers or our bosses or our spouses. Everyone else thinks we should listen to them instead of us knowing we've got all the answers right in here. So learning to prioritize that inner guidance above all else, I think that belongs in the top 3 things to make anyone a master manifester too. And you know what listening to that inner guidance means? It means just doing what feels better, because that's how it talks to us. It talks to us through joy or sometimes through relief. But that's the second on my list. And third on my list is this one. Being willing to give up the struggle, to know that unhappy journeys don't have happy endings. Quoting Abraham Hicks with that tidbit, which I remind myself often because it's really easy for us to think that. I mean, hello, aren't most of us trained our whole lives that you've got to roll up your sleeves and pay your dues in order to get the reward, that there's no work without the effort, the blood, sweat, and tears? Okay, turns out that's not so. It turns out that what works best is what feels best. So anytime you notice yourself going upstream, or if it feels like you're working really hard, to recognize you're doing that and release it. Release the struggle. Instead, do whatever feels better. I know that's contrary wisdom to the way a lot of us were taught to engage life, but it turns out that makes all the difference. In fact, just even practicing one of these tips can transform your life in a short period of time when you get consistent at practicing it. I've seen it happen so many times it's not funny. And that's what we're going to practice doing together in my 30-day manifesting challenge. It's coming up soon. I'm almost ready to announce details on that. But in the meantime, I'd like to hear from you what you think are the 3 things that could make anyone off the street, a master manifester. And stay tuned for my next video where I'm going to share 3 signs that will tell you you're on the right track in creating what you want. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.